This question is about how to start a fashion brand with not much money. It is possible.
Perfect. Yeah, perfectly doable. But there's some things that you need to keep in mind. First, time is money and money is time. That's one start. So it means that if you do not have money to invest into outsource for knowledge or for competence, it means that you need to do most of the job yourself. And if you need to do most of the job and most of the tasks in launching a brand yourself, that means that from the get-go, you should give yourself more time, because it will take time. You will, fail at certain things. It will take you more time to learn and to figure things out if you haven't done this before. But also, it's in a way, it's good because everything that you learn now, it will be incredibly useful for you in the long run. So what's great with small brands and with small startups is that you will grow organically instead of getting all this money in and launching with a boom with like 20, 30, 40 pieces collection. Maybe you're missing, the biggest point with the collection. You've invested all this money in inventory, all this PR money and all this stuff, marketing, and then you need to get rid of this stuff, and all of a sudden, oops, your brand fails in 2 years. So we see this as a really, really good thing that you want to start. And it's also very good that you know that it is a limited amount of money, because you will know exactly how to bootstrap. We need to put it in. And we have a blog post about this, how to bootstrap your apparel brand, your startup. But what this forces you is to spend your time and money where it absolutely counts. And where it counts most here is in your product development, so you can have a perfect salesman sample or a perfect product to take photos of, to show to customers. That's your priority. If it means that you have to learn all these skills, how to design, how to develop, how all that, you can do that. You can take help from the manufacturers themselves, because many manufacturers, I shouldn't say, if I say rough 80% of the manufacturers, that's about right from our experience, have this as a service. They have both pattern making, and some of them also have design in-house in their manufacturing facilities, because it's easier for them because they will know that their tech packs will be accurate. They know that the patterns will be fitted for production. So for them, it's actually easier if they can make everything themselves than if they would have you make the patterns somewhere else. Then they have to fit the patterns for their own production. If you make your tech packs with someone else and they're not really accurate, so it's better to come to a manufacturer or a sample making facility, and they can help you, and you discuss with them exactly how you want your products. You show them your I don't know if you have competitor samples, or if you have mock-ups that you've sewn, so yourself sewn or made, or it can even be like paper mock-ups or quick drawings. It doesn't matter, as long as you discuss and you know exactly what your idea is about. It's way easier to get the rest from other people than if you have to then to do everything yourself, because I assume you don't, with this little amount of money, I assume you don't know everything in this industry, and so you need to learn and you need to rely on other people. But that's perfectly that's how it works. And many people do not have all the knowledge in this industry, so you'll find you'll be all right. But what is extremely important, if you have this small amount of money to start with, is that you start in a niche and that you start really, really small, preferably with one product, because each and every single sample is going to cost you depending on the product, depending on how complicated your product is, will cost you to develop. So of course, if you only focus on one product and then you product develop that, of course, it's way cheaper than if you would have 10 products and you have to develop them at the same time, all the materials involved and all that. But try to niche it as much as possible. And then eventually, when you've come to market with your one product, then you can grow, then you can add a second, a third, grow your segment. And then when you've grown your segment and your customers know you for that segment and know that you have awesome killer products in that niche, in that segment, that's when they know that they can rely on you. You're a brand to that they like and that they love, and the quality and your product, etc. That's when they come back. But first, you really need to nail that product. And marketing will be extremely easy for you as well, because you will only have one product, and so it's way easier. But again, because you have such a small amount of money, you need to start with your marketing strategy way in advance before you even have a product, because that's when you will get a following. Your people will want to you jump on your idea early on and see your development, see your behind the scenes and all that, because you will not have much money to go into boom marketing when your product is ready. So you need to get a momentum, and you need to get that marketing leverage with people on all the free, social media and all those platforms that will not cost you any money, but that will cost you time. So again, this ties back into us saying it's very important that you do not stress about the time, and that you give yourself way enough time, because that's literally the only thing that you have. And just need to be clever on how you spend your time and where you spend your time, and just try to leverage all the things that are free. One other thing, you need momentum, because momentum is like compound effect, and the more momentum you get, the bigger it gets, and the more your customers will get hooked to you and your product and your idea.
The big post here in the beginning is the product development. So if you can keep that cost down, typically by just being niched and having one product, that's good. And the second big post is the bulk production. That's when you're going to make all the garments. So that's going to cost you a lot, and in many cases you need more money for this. But if you go the traditional way and sell retail, then you approach the buyers and you ask for orders, and you don't place your bulk production order until you have received your order from the retailers. That way that you have sold these products that you're making. You don't have to put them in storage and hope for sales later. You actually have the orders. And what you can do then, when you receive the orders from the retailers or wholesalers, you actually ask for payment upfront, or at least part payment upfront. Maybe you can ask for 60% upfront, so you have money to bridge the bulk production to pay for that until it's delivered, and that's typically when you get the rest of the amount paid from the retailers.
And also, one other thing that we think, and of course you should always have a contract with everything that you do. Make sure you have a contract, even with your buyers, to have a signed contract and signed order form. And also, you can put in the order form no cancellations for your orders. If they've placed an order and then later before you ship, they're like, oh yeah, no, sorry, we don't want your orders anymore. No, they can't do that, because the offer stands and the invoice is there. They need to pay it. So this is something you need to put in your contract. And also, another thing that you can put in is, like Klas said, is so they can pay either 100% upfront.
Ask for it.
Exactly, because it's your brand, it's your rules. No one dictates the rules except you, so you can actually do whatever you want. Some might be like, oh my god, you're crazy, but then at the same time you can say, yes, we are a startup, and it means that in order for us to have a good start and to make sure that we make a profit from the start, and also for you to help us out, and so we know that we will come back season after season, then you need to kind of help out with the paying upfront. And this is something you can totally do. And many brands that we work with, this is how they work with. Some buyers have said, no, this is not the way we work. But then they've come back a couple of seasons later and they're like, okay, let's do this because we see your brand is growing and we really like what you're doing. So, okay, let's sign that contract in order form. So it's completely up to you.
And if you have a contract that they will pay you fully on delivery, what you can do is also maybe bridge it all with a loan. I mean, you know that you're going to get paid once you deliver the full bulk production. So it's a smaller risk, at least if you have the signed contracts. And I mean, that's if you go the traditional way. And an obvious choice would be crowdfunding. Then you just need the perfect salesman sample and you need to work on the marketing. You make a nice presentation, video, photos, everything. You present your product. But it's a way of getting pre-orders. So you will get people will pay you in advance for making your products, and I mean then you can afford it since they have paid in advance. So there are ways to go if you have little money and you want to start your brand.
But again, here it's to do a really good crowdfunding project. It takes about 3 to 6 months to nail it, to make a super good one. So just, give yourself time and not just, okay, let's do a crowdfunding, we'll do it in a week. That's not going to be a really successful campaign.
Yeah, I mean, in many cases, you have to trade the money for time. You have to do more yourself and you have to work more on your marketing and so forth, but there are ways. So it's absolutely possible.